Greetings everyone, Tim Anderson here, aka Renfell, and welcome to the first official rant video on my channel. I've never done any like truly ranty videos. Um, the Vanity Fair piece that came out this morning, which talks about the upcoming and I'm using this very in air quotes loosely, Lord of the Rings show that Amazon is doing. They just released a bunch of photos of the cast and characters, and they are completely butchering the lore and the history of Middle Earth, and Tolkien and Christopher Tolkien themselves would both be rolling in their graves if I just can't handle this. So we're gonna rant about this today. We're gonna talk about characters that should not be in this show and why I really now have zero interest in the show, despite previously being somewhat hyped up about it. If this is your first time tuning in and you like this video, smash it with a like button. If you don't, do what you want to do. And subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon if you do like it so you can get more videos and other things that I do here on YouTube. Check all that other playlists and all that other stuff. If you want to join our community, Discord links are down below. Let's just dive in, everybody. I mean, I really don't have a lot to say about this. We have, you know, we always knew that this show was going to be set during the Second Age and that it was going to be covering the time of like Numenor when the islands were still there. Isildur was young. We've got Galadriel and Elrond and Glorfindel and all these amazing characters. It's the creation of the Rings of Power. The show is literally called the Rings of Power. It's when Sauron was still in his seductive state. So we knew that it was going to be covering a lot of the territory from the Silmarillion, even though it was never specifically mentioned that this was going to be the Silmarillion, right? We knew that was the territory that was going to be covered. We got the title release recently, about a month ago, I think. So we've always known it was going to be set during that time period. We got an official title, which showed us that the show was in fact about the Rings of Power, which was like, oh, this is going to be so cool. We've seen the trees, we've seen all these cool things. And then they dropped this Vanity Fair article reveal, and I immediately went from being somewhat hyped up about the show to now no longer having any interest in this piece of steaming shit. And here's why. We are now getting brand new characters such as Halbrand, a mortal castaway who is a new character introduced in the show. As Galadriel is struggling for survival on a raft in the storm-swept Sundering Seas. Okay, one character, not that big of a deal. I don't really see why we need to create that. I don't see why we need a new character when the Silmarillion and the Second Age is rich with characters that J.R.R. Tolkien and his son Christopher both fleshed out over many, many years. But before we even get to the next part, this series is going to be juggling 22 stories, 22 stars, and multiple storylines from deep within the dwarf mines of the Misty Mountains to the high politics of the Elven Kingdom of Lindon and the humans' powerful Atlantis-like island of Numenor. All of this will center eventually around the incident that gives the trilogy its names, the Forging of the Rings. The driving question, oh, this is the bullshit that really pisses me off. The driving question behind the production was this: can we come up with a novel Tolkien never wrote and do it as the mega event series that could only happen now? What the ever-loving fuck are you talking about? Tolkien already wrote all of this shit. It's in the Silmarillion, and we have the Tales of Middle-earth that his son put together from his notes. We already have all of this material written down. What are you talking about? The novel that Tolkien never wrote. You can see how hard I was pressing my forehead there. I am like truly triggered this morning. And if you know me, I previously reviewed all of the Wheel of Time episodes, and I talked often about in those reviews that I was trying really hard not to be a book purist with the Wheel of Time. I was like, I accept that it's an adaptation, but I previously was not under the impression that we were getting an adaptation. I thought we were getting like a Peter Jackson type series that was going to cover the events of the Second Age and of the Silmarillion. Again, not specifically the Silmarillion, but just the Second Age in general leading up to. But now we're being told that these guys are literally taking it upon themselves to write the novel that Tolkien never wrote and create this mega event series. Fuck off. Like, seriously. Um, I'm gonna scroll down here. There's some more stuff that some other stuff. I gotta find it now. Dun 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 dun, because it's not just that one character. We're being introduced to multiple characters. Dun 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 dun. Where's it at? Yeah, I'm scrolling down here. Because we're not just getting them. I'm going to pull this from my Discord actually because I already posted this earlier and I'm trying to find it in the article. So we're going to just pull this up where it says not only are we getting the new character of Halbrand, we're also getting other new characters, which include Arondir, a Sylvan elf played by Ismael Cruz Cordova, and the dwarf princess Disa, as well as Arondir's forbidden human lover Bronwyn, who lives in Southlands and is described as a single mother and a healer. Fuck off! Like, oh, this drives me. Okay, so one of the most important components of the Aragorn and Arwen relationship in the Lord of the Rings books and the way that was portrayed in the films was the fact that it was extremely rare. The lay of Beren and Lúthien, the story of Beren and Lúthien in the history of Middle Earth is one of extreme importance because it was so rare and it was so that's why it had such meaning. And here they're literally creating throwaway characters that are completely invented for the storyline so that they can have an elf and human relationship. You already fucking have that in Beren and Lúthien. Why are we not covering? Oh man, this just I'm so triggered. There's also the issue that Vanity Fair says the showrunners saying in the novels the aforementioned things take place over thousands of years, but the showrunners have compressed events into a single point in time, which is the biggest deviation from the text, and they know it's a big swing. Oh my goodness. I just I mean, this article has some good stuff in it. I mean, it talks about, but ultimately, what this is coming down to, in my mind, is the fact that they don't appear to be interested in actually honoring the spirit of Tolkien. They're all about we're writing the novel that Tolkien never wrote, and we're creating this epic mega show that's going to inspire millions to tune in, and we're going to have the next Game of Thrones type show on our Amazon network, and it's going to make us billions of dollars. They're basically just rewriting everything at this point and creating their own version of events. The novel that Tolkien never wrote. I'm sorry, I no longer have any interest in this show at all. None. Like previously, I was interested because it was going to be covering the events that we all know and love from the Second Age. Even if it wasn't following directly Silmarillion, it was going to be covering events from that book, from the Tales of Middle Earth, from the art, the appendices, all of these amazing places where we already have really cool heroes and characters to draw from to create an amazing show, without needing to create these absolutely ridiculous new characters just for like the woke generation of people who have never read the Silmarillion or read the Lord of the Rings. And I'm just again, here it is. It's promoted in text. The driving question behind the production: can we come up with the novel Tolkien ever wrote and do it as the mega series event that could only happen now? That's what I have to say about this show. I'm done ranting. Love to hear your thoughts, everybody. Let me know down in the comments below. I now no longer have any interest in watching this, and I'm really disappointed. And it sucks because I've been hyping this show up to Chris, who has never read the books and she's only ever seen the films. We've been talking about it in the Looking for More show. We've all been hyped up about it's going to be so cool to see the Second Age and Numenor and the fall of Numenor and the creation of the rings. And now we're going to get all of these side characters who never existed in the books and are just going to be there to write the novel that Tolkien never wrote. Thumbs down, folks. That's my thoughts. Subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon. I don't even want to talk anymore. I'm going to go curl up in bed and tell myself that I thought I wasn't a book purist, but apparently I'm a book purist. Yeah. No thanks.